Hey, good morning, everyone. Another beautiful day in the markets. And yet again, we got some volatility, ladies and gentlemen. Big old range here. The average bar on the S&P is 14 points right now. On the Nasdaq, it is 67 points. Yet again, we find ourselves in some really crazy territory. Let's check out what we got. So again, big range. Oh, I guess we never did really get to the previous lows. Hey, Tom, good morning. Paul, Bill, Oceans, Lilith, Squid, good morning to y'all. Yeah, so it looks like yesterday's low is right below the overnight low, essentially the bottom of our range there. So that should present an interesting level. If we get below yesterday's low, I mean, it's we don't have much below that, right? We could have another free fall. Morning, Archer. Yes, 45-point bar for your enjoyment today. So fun. Good morning, Shayak. Okay, so currently, I mean, as I said, we're in a range. So what we're going to have to do is follow the most recent channels, keeping everything really tight. Looks like this uptrend has already played out. We'd be expecting a move down here. Yeah, we're looking at 20 point bars here. My goodness. Got about a minute and a half to the open here. Looks like we might be in for a bearish correction. That would be the next thing we would anticipate. And drawing our levels on the Nasdaq as well. We might be right on yesterday's low. Let's check it out. Nope, same kind of deal. It's right below us. big, volatile, crappy range. That's what we got. With the uptrend played out, expecting a move down here. Okay, there's the opening bell. Ideally, of course, we would get out of this range for some legitimate movement. However, the range might be good enough to trade. Let's yeah, it's got some pretty decently consistent highs and lows. So we can look for reversal plays once we get to the extremes of the range. Hey Marvin, welcome to the channel, man. Good to have you. Hey Roberta, welcome. We are in the upper half of this range. And we didn't quite make it to the bottom last time, so a little bit of a slight favor to the bulls. But we will wait until we have either a confirmed trend or we're at the extremes of the range that will present the best trading opportunities. And I'm honestly a little bit surprised. Tariffs went into effect last night. I thought the market would have more of a directional reaction. Had a volatility reaction, but not directional yet. Which means they're essentially already pricing in the implementation last night. In Q showing a little bit of strength compared to ES. It keeps pressing itself higher. Getting closer to the top of the range, and we could consider a short once we get up into that area. With the right setup, of course. Right now, I'd be looking for a double lower high. Our uptrend is played out, right, with the break new high. I'd want one lower high and a second lower high, basically like a break and retest of the EMA. Looking to go short. This thing could continue up, of course, and if we start to make progress above the range, be looking at a secondary channel like that. Getting another test at the EMA, and it looks like buyers are stepping in. So starting to look good for our secondary channel. Yeah, very true, Archer. This volatility is nothing to screw around with. Still incredibly high ATR, 11 points, so you got to adjust your size accordingly. This is an account blowing kind of action if you're not careful. So again, I'm keeping this channel in mind. I don't really want to trust it too much in the range, and especially since we're starting to get some empty space at the top. That's hinting at some decreased momentum. Perhaps the market's about to roll over. Yeah, so that trend line's starting to break already. As far as news releases go, we do have some New Zealand news. Oh wait, no, sorry, that was yesterday. Oh, we have the FOMC minutes today. That should be fun. And for those who are not completely initiated, it's not the FOMC meeting, right? It's just the minutes. So they're just releasing the minutes. I don't expect there to be any new information there. However, you never know. It will certainly provide a little volatility. That much we can pretty much bank on. But aside from nice Tom, New Zealand, man, oh man, it's not even Dad Joke Friday, but that's a good one. Not gonna lie to you. That trend line's still holding. What was I gonna say? Yes, that's the only scheduled news for today. The FOMC meeting minutes. However, you gotta have a news feed up for the unscheduled stuff. You got a president that tweets out stuff randomly. The market is very news sensitive, so it is looking for any little thing, be it Twitter or some White House personnel's comments. We saw the craziest move up I have ever seen in my life, off of a rumor, off of just a rumor from the White House. So very important to have a news feed squawk box going on so you can be ready for that kind of stuff. There is a link in the description if you want. I do have I think it's in the description. No, I'm unsure. Yeah. Trade exchange. I got a code for a discount. you're interested. I think it's really important in this kind of environment. All right, we have what looks to be a possible overshoot. That may mean we are just in a larger channel. But in order to trade this, we will have to get above this overnight high. We're right at it right now. You don't want to try to take a long anticipating that it's going to break out. You want the breakout to be confirmed. So we want to see a move up and then come back to retest it and have that hold. We are above it right now. It's a good sign. Same on NQ. We'll just wait for it to hold. If it does, we'll have a great opportunity to go long. So we'll be watching this pullback very carefully here. You don't want to see stacked red bars. You don't want to see a really quick move down when it's pulling back. You want to see something gradual. We have one little attempt up, right? We had this pullback, one little attempt higher. Still have quite a bit of distance to go to the moving average. So the market pretty likely to get back there. And make sure you were liking the stream while we were waiting for the setup. We only got 8 likes. 8. Only 8 this morning. Come on, people. I'm so sorry if I offended you. But yeah, I would appreciate that. Quick little click of the button. Help feed the algorithm. Yeah, so that's a swifter pullback than I would have liked there. Pretty steep, not what you want to see. Basic rejection of the overnight high. Very steep pullback on NQ as well. So I'm going to be deleting those wider uptrends. Market is showing us something different. Now we will be looking for a short as we are coming off of that resistance zone. Now, could this just launch back up and pass the overnight high? Of course it can. And it may. We have this move down even has an overshoot. At least on ES. I don't think it does on NQ. No, NQ still looks solid. As a result, we'll look to widen the channel on ES. We'll be looking for a short setup. So looking for the pullback, looking for the EMA to hold as resistance 2 times, bearish bar here. The ATR has gone down slightly. Now it's only at 10 on the S&P. All right, look at that. Still waiting on that pullback. Looks like we might be getting it here. Over on NQ, this move down already looks like it has a break and new low, so we would be expecting a pop. So expecting slightly different things on the indices here. But if NQ keeps going down, we can definitely widen that channel a bit. Over on ES, we are watching to see if the EMA is going to act as resistance. If so, we'll look to take a short. Just barely touched it, and the NQ bias is a little uncertain, so I'm not going to be taking that trade. popping above the moving average. Looks like we got a couple higher lows here. On NQ, this definitely looks like the wider channel still might be in play. So I'd be looking for a higher low to get long. See if we can get it right here. Did not get the higher low we were looking for. S&P still working its way up. Would lean on the bullish side. See if we can get a pullback and have the EMA hold a couple times. We'll look to get long. Very close to a new high already. We have not reached a new high, so we can still consider a pullback to the moving average here. Hey, good morning, Fernando. Okay, now we're getting a pullback. Again, we're going to watch and make sure it's not a vertical one like this. When you see just stacked red bars coming straight down to the moving average, not likely to hold, and it didn't. So we want a gradual move, EMA holding a support, then we can get it set up. And Q, same thing. Does look like we have this uptrend break. We would expect a new high. So let's see a gradual move. Couple tests, and we'll take that second test. Right now, we're not really even getting a pullback. We're just consolidating right at the high of the day. Also watching the Russell index was kind of setting up the same way. I'm going to take a gander at crude oil and gold, see if there's any other opportunities out there. Come on, S&P, make up your mind. Javi, you've taken a couple good setups on gold. Yeah, gold can move really nice sometimes. Same with crude oil. All right, we're getting a little bit of a strong pullback. Not looking great for a long just yet. I'm going to reload my data. Just realized I've not done that this morning. Cool. Chart reloaded. I'm going to do the same on NQ. Still hovering right around that same level. It's been like 10 minutes now that we haven't, we've essentially just gone sideways. Okay. Pushed to a new high. If we had that wider trend on, it looks like it might still be valid. So as long as that overnight high holds as support, we'll look at this wider trend and we'll be buying the pullbacks. in Q, it looks like you could also have a wider trend, something along these lines. And as long as that overnight high holds, we will be bullish. In order for this long to be even better, would want to see a continued move up here towards the top of the channel and then a pullback. You don't want to leave a bunch of empty space at the top of the channel. So hoping this continues higher here. All right, starting to pull back, but that's not what you want to see. You don't want to see that big vertical red bar. Expensive days to click. I hear that, Bruno. Yes, each click can be quite expensive. That's actually a funny way to think about it. Like if you lose a bunch of money on a trade, wow, I just spent $2,000 on that mouse click. All right, come on now. Let's see that overnight high hold. All right, there's the move down, not what you want to see. So I am going to be deleting that wider trend. Like I said, I was only willing to have that wider trend if the overnight high held, but it did not. Now, of course, there still is the possibility that this wider trend is legit. If we all of a sudden just pop up right now, but not looking good for the home team. We'll watch this pull back to the moving average very carefully. Yeah, Javi, that's a good thing to point out. That gold is kind of following the market right now. It's not typical. Actually, everything's kind of wacky. The dollar and bonds are all kind of mimicking the market, and usually they're inversely correlated. So really crazy. This market is not normal. So if you're new trading, what you've been seeing the last week is not normal. These are unprecedented conditions, which of course, as I've been preaching, is a good reason to hold off. You have a second entry that has not triggered yet. I think I'm going to wait, given the fact that we aren't really sure if there's a wider uptrend or not yet. But that second bar closed anyway, so we'd have to avoid it. There's another bearish bar. We could consider this one, if it closes on its low, of course. Looks decent. Again, I'm gonna hold off. It's a very big bar, so I personally have to be extremely sure in the trade in order to take it. You're risking 14 points there, and it would have worked. So maybe take that one, but I'd like to wait until everything's a little bit more clear and the stars are aligning better before risking money on that. Matt, what is up, man? Neighbor Matt. Hanging out, man. How you been doing? All right, so now we have this move down has a break and a new low, right? We had this move down. Here's the break. Here's the new low. Now we would expect, if there are buyers in the market, for them to attempt to push back up here. If they are unable to, that's going to be pretty telling for the sellers, and we are likely to work our way down towards the bottom of the range, which, looking at the overall price action, that would make the most sense, as this has been a range, undoubtedly. We just got off of the high in a range. Prices keep going and oscillating between the high and the low. So we would expect the market to continue lower here, but we shall see. Ooh, back problems, Matt. That's no fun, man. I've been there. Makes everything else harder. So hope you continue to recover, man. Josh, head and shoulders. Yeah, I mean, you could look at it like that for sure. Although this shoulder is huge. That shoulder is bigger than the head. Bulls still haven't stepped it up yet. We're looking for the same thing on NQ. Move down, break new low. We would expect the bulls to step into the market if they are here. So far, not seeing the buyers step up. Sure, man. Yeah, you can reach me. Discord's probably the easiest way to reach me. Again, if we turn down here, I would be expected given the overall range structure. But I just want to see the market do something. We haven't really gone anywhere. More or less a doji for the day. Coming up on an hour of action and we are in the same spot. Granted, we had, 70-point swings on either side, but, what are you going to do? Monitoring this bullish move on NQ. Also hasn't really gotten off the deck. Yes, in fact, looking like a break in a new high. The chop continues. We are now back to the opening price. The low of day is right in store. And it is certainly looking like the bias is going to be a big, crappy range. That's what the action is telling us so far. Big, crappy range. Is that what you guys ordered? But just as it looks like price is going to work its way down, we get another pop over the EMA. So if you haven't figured it out, this is a no trade zone, guys. Especially with how high the ATR is. If you're trying to chase any of these little moves, this can blow an account. I mean, it's wild to think. Just, this very consolidated little chop zone can blow an account. But it's absolutely true. Like this zone here on the NQ is 120 points. That's $2,000 with one contract in just that little chop zone. So don't be chasing this. This is nothing clear. We want to let the market really make a move to where it's like, okay, we know where we're headed right now. This is a downtrend. We're looking for a pullback, or this is an uptrend. We're looking for a pullback. Right now, it's just going back and forth. And just as that pop was starting to look promising, we got another move back. So every move is getting reversed here. Nothing is following through. That should tell you something. When all of a sudden the move is starting to look pretty good, careful. I'll say it's probably about to reverse. Well, here's what I will say. At some point today, this market is very likely, well, actually, I would not even at some point today, I would say relatively soon, this market is likely to explode in one direction or another. But you can't have this high of an ATR, this much volatility, and stay right at the opening price for this long. Like, there's going to be a move. It's going to be a big one. So you know, since we can't really predict the direction, it's not one we can really trade. We have to let it happen and then join it once it's already established. So don't try to like pick the direction of the breakout and get in early. You're just going to chop yourself up. But yeah, we're very likely to explode out of here pretty soon. And once we do, that's going to set up some solid trading conditions. So yeah, doesn't look like that's happening right now. We're still stuck in that little consolidation area. Oh, but here's a little movement. Here's a little something, something. The U.S. is weighing the possibility of a farmer bailout due to China retaliation exports. I'm just looking at the news to see if there's anything substantial that might move the ticker here. Right on, Matt. Sounds good, man. In Q, same range as ever. But yeah, we'll wait for this to explode out to get a trade, guys. I'm not really interested in trading this consolidation. It's an expensive click, as we talked about. I don't want to spend a couple $1,000s to click my mouse. So yeah, we'll wait for something clear, something that has a structured risk and a high probability of success, and we will wait for that. So until then, I hope you guys have a wonderful trading day. Join me in the Discord, link below. And there's been a lot of, despite the volatility, there's been a lot of setups this past week, and we've been nailing them over in the Discord. So join if you want to join that. Should be good stuff today. At some point. Obviously not right now, but at some point it's going to be good. So we'll be waiting for that. But anyway, take care, everybody. Thanks for tuning in. Appreciate y'all. Have a wonderful day, and I will see you soon.